Thank you. Welcome. This will be the regular meeting of the Board of County Commissioners at 10 a.m. on the 10th day of November. Guys, it's going to be January before you know it. It's going to go by fast. I'd like to welcome everyone here. I'm going to give an invocation. Pledge allegiance will be by Shelley Hallisey. Then thought of the day will be by Commissioner Ebert. Our Father in heaven, we're thankful for the opportunity that we have to meet here as folks that work in the county and to do the best things for our taxpayers and our citizens here, that we remember our veterans at this time of year and the great sacrifice that they've made that this country can be what it is today. And we thank thee for all thy many blessings. In the name of Jesus Christ, amen.
Please rise and join me in the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Well, for those of you who had an opportunity last Saturday, to either be in or be a part of the Veterans Day Parade, it was an amazing opportunity. The men and women who have served in the armed forces, the stories that they tell are just beyond compare. The parade was amazing. They had a tank in the parade. They had people dressed up in the World War I gear, and they had jeeps. It was amazing. It was very patriotic, and I really enjoyed the opportunity to rub shoulders with the heroes of yesteryear. We had an opportunity to ride 3 motorcycles in the parade, red, white, and blue. It was a tremendous amount of fun. And to have those bikes parked and have the veterans come up and talk to us about their service and about the motorcycles was indeed an amazing experience, and I will treasure that forever. So my thought today deals with honor our military. Let's honor our military, the men and women who serve, whose dedication to our country does not falter, halt, or swerve. Let's respect them for their courage. They're ready to do what's right to keep America safe so we can sleep better at night. Let's support and defend our soldiers, whose hardships are brutal and cruel, whose discipline we can't imagine, who follow each order and rule. Here's to those who choose to be warriors and their helpers good and true. They're fighting for American values. They're fighting for me and you. By Joanna Fuchs. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, it was an amazing time, the three of us, to ride in that parade, and it was a very nice day Saturday, and so we're grateful that we could do that. Also, we want to excuse Commissioner Gibson, and I apologize that this meeting will only last 10 minutes. It won't last the regular 2 hours because he's not here, but I'll try to make it last a little longer where I can and stretch things out. So, consent items. Number 1, request for approval of purchase orders in the amount of $29,586.75. Request for approval of warrants 326738 to 326854 in the amount of $634,892.07. Number 3, request for approval of the minutes for a meeting held on November 3rd, 2015. Number 4 is going to be stricken. Number 4 is not on there. We've taken it off. So those are the consent items, Commissioner. Yeah, I did the same thing. I put my minutes in. We're used to having a lot of time to talk during this time, but it's gone today.
Ricky?
Oh, Ricky, sorry.
You bet. Pretty light week as far as finances go. We only had 14 purchase orders issued this week for $30,000. The largest item was 42% of that balance, or $12,000 for the library construction, and that was primarily for equipment. All of the rest of the POs were under $10,000. We issued only 117 checks this week for $635,000, which is also quite a bit less than our normal weekly check run. 39% of that, or $249,000, went to library construction. 15%, or $94,000 of that, was an escrow release related to Ski Lake. 8% or $52,000 went to for roads, mostly to Granite Construction, and then the last two were both at 6%. $39,000 for the jail for utilities and a payment to Weber Human Services, and then $35,000 to the library for books and audiobooks.
Thank you.
So, I mean, I think you'll notice as you were saying that this seemingly is a light week, and a big part of that is our Southwest Library construction has reached a substantial completion, and so we'll probably not see those large library expenditures for the next couple months until the main starts. That Southwest branch, if you haven't had an opportunity to go out there and tour it, is an amazing facility. And I think as you walk through it, you will find that as nice as it is, you will not see so many extras that it's a long construction and in equipping that branch. So we're looking at mid-February open day. It's a big facility, but I think they've been they've kept attention to fiscally responsible methods in construction and in equipping that branch. So we're looking at mid-February open date, I believe.
Correct.
And over the next month or so, month and a half, they'll be moving books and shelving and other things into the facility. So that's one of the reasons you probably see a little lighter on the POs and checks. Thank you. I'll make.
Oh yeah, that's a library folks need to get out. You haven't been out there seen it yet. Our library staff did a phenomenal job on that, and it is going to be a great addition to our community. As commissioners, we want prosperity for our residents, and people will come to Weber County and want to raise their families here because of some of the nice trails we have, some of the nice libraries we have, some of the community centers we have, the open space we have. So anyway, I'll be open for a motion.
I'll make a motion that we approve the consent items as read.
I second it.
Minus-
That's item 4. Minus item 4. Any other discussion? If not, I'll call for the vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Passes. We'll move on to action items. Number 1, request from Weber 24009 as surplus property. Mr. Sean Wilkinson, our director's here. Welcome, Sean.
Thank you. Good morning,
You
Commissioners.
notice the light above them is not working, Shelley? Because you can hardly see them from up here.
That helps the glare off my head.
Yes, it's helped a lot. Thank you. I'd have the same problem.
Commissioners, this piece of property is located in the Ogden Valley, and it's next to the Mountain Valley Meadows subdivision. When that subdivision was recorded, there was a fence line that the subdivision went to, and this piece of property was left over. It was left for 5 years. The developer did not pay taxes on it, so the county picked it up at tax sale in 1978. We now have an adjacent property owner who has a desire to purchase this piece of property. It is a long, narrow strip. It contains approximately 1.15 acres, but it's just a narrow strip of property. In order to sell that property, we have to declare it as surplus, and that is the request this morning.
So, as we work our way through many of the processes we go through, especially from last week, we see that surveying is not an exact science. And these little strips of property are examples sometimes of how when we do surveying, we don't always hit every single survey mark, seemingly. And I know our surveyor's office is working with the state on trying to fix all our monuments. And so when we have little strips like this that, new developers, when they survey, they don't realize or their survey markers are off or they're changed. Sometimes you end up with these small little slips or slivers of property where property taxes aren't paid on them.
Yes.
And we eventually take them over. And so when we have some of the discussion we had last week, it has nothing to do with the county trying to not pay as much for a piece of property. It's the issues and concerns we have with monuments and surveying and those types of things. And it's not just specific to one project, but to all kinds of parcels throughout the county. Does that sound like issues we've had in the past I've seen?
Good.
So Okay,
What's your pleasure on action?
I've got to get back to my first page. I'll make a motion that we approve surplusing property parcel 2021-024-0009.
I second it. Any more discussion? Not, I'll call for the vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Number 2, request for approval to grant easements for water utility and infrastructure to Liberty Pipeline Company. This must be up in Norfolk Park.
It is, yes. Commissioners, back in 1976, there was an agreement signed between the county commission and Liberty Pipeline Company for infrastructure dealing with water up there. There's a pipeline, a tank, and a source protection area located within the boundaries of North Fork Park. And what this is doing now is essentially formalizing that agreement. It was never recorded, although it was signed by both parties. And Liberty Pipeline is now asking the county to grant those formal easements just to recognize what took place.
Right.
And so there are 3 easements: a water line and access easement, a water tank easement, and a source protection easement.
Okay. Sounds good. Is there a number on this? No?
I'll make a motion that we approve an easement by and between Weber County and the Liberty Pipeline Company for water utilities and infrastructure to Liberty.
I second that. Just side note that they are a great company to work with. Liberty's been great to work with up there because we have facilities up there ourselves. The county does up in
Yes.
our North Fork Park, so we share some facilities, and
Yep.
it's been a good working relationship with them. So, okay, seeing no more discussion, I'll call for the vote. All in favor, say aye.
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 Thank you.
Passes. Thank you. Jared Anderson, you're next. Request for approval of a right-of-way contract by and between Weber County and the following for the 12th Street project. Piece A Full Farms, parcel 134-135, Compass Minerals, parcel number 31, number 71. As we all know, this is part of our 12th Street project that we've been working on diligently, and this has gone through the formal procedures, and we've been working on this for ever since I've been here, so it's been a big project, and Jared's done a lot of work on it. We appreciate that, Jared. So tell us anything new or unusual or interesting about
Nothing
these.
new. It's just a matter of getting the documents together. As you're aware, Compass Minerals was on the list, but removed, by the meeting minutes from last week because they got that contract signed. So it's just a matter of getting the paperwork together and getting it presented to you.
We're just about got good percentage of the properties done now, don't you, out there?
We do.
Great, it's looking good, thank you. Commissioner, any thoughts, ideas, would you like to talk about?
Nope. Do we have contract numbers?
392, 393.
I'll make a motion that we accept and adopt contracts 392 and 393.
Aye. Go ahead, sorry.
A right-of-way contract by and between Weber County and parcels 134 and 135, Piece A Full Farms, and parcel 71 Compass Minerals for the 12th Street project.
I second it. Any more discussion? Seeing none, I'll call for the vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thank
Thank
you,
you.
Jared. Next, it's the Jim Harvey Show. Come on up, Jim. Request for approval of a contract by and between Weber County and 5 Shoots Productions for the RMPRA Winter Series Rodeo to be held at the Golden Spike Event Center on the following dates: November 21st to November 21st
22nd.
to November 22nd, January 15 to 16, February 19 to 20 in 2016, March 18, 19, 2016.
Correction,
to
that's
us.
my error. November 20th and 21st, Friday, Saturday.
November 20 and 21st. Thank you.
This is the contract is before you today, Commissioners, because it's out of our normal ordinance for pricing. Our proposal, because this is the Golden Spike's largest customer, and there are actually 5 different performances, plus a substantial amount of hourly revenue that comes from this contractor, is that he be allowed to use the riding arena for the warm-up of horses and equine in preparation for his show that takes place inside the Golden Spike Arena, that ticketed event. So that's kind of, that's the reason we've suggested that they do this, or we do this. Other than that, it's pretty much a standard contract and a ticketed event. It's really a nice piece of business for Weaver County.
Okay, thank you. I don't have any more questions unless you do, James.
Do we have 394, just one contract for all the dates?
Yes.
I'll make a motion, we adopt contract 393, approval of a contract by and between Weaver County and Five Shoots Production for the RMPRA Winter Series Rodeo to be held on the dates listed.
I second that. Any more discussion? If not, call for the vote. All in favor, say aye.
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 393 or 4?
394.
Perfect. Thank you.
Well, it's nice to see you.
Let's see.
Stop by more often.
Thank you.
Number 5, request for approval of a contract by and between Weaver County and the Powder Mountain Water and Sewer District to provide effective and efficient core administrative services. Couple things. I want to refer to Dave Wilson for a minute. We do contracts with some of our districts, correct? And some of our folks, like cities, we do snow plowing. So this isn't an unusual type thing, or? Just, do you want to tell some of the ones we do?
We have agreements with the mosquito abatement district, with the 911 dispatch district, with, as you indicated, we have a number of contracts for interlocal agreements, which is fancy name for a contract between governmental organizations with cities for snow plowing, and I can't remember others, but we have a number of them.
Okay. So what we're presenting here today is the Powder Mountain Water and Sewer District is getting ready to become, they're a district now, but we haven't annexed in all the new pipe and tank and everything. Eventually, it's going to annex into the district. There's a lot of work that goes on up there and a lot of things we're doing. And right now, most everything we're doing, we do straight with a consultant. The consultant comes in, we pay consultant wages to get things done up there. And so we felt like that it would be better to contract on some of these services. So we put together a form. We went to the different places. We went to IT, went to engineering, went to the roads department, went to operations, and come up with the attorneys what some fees would be to review some contracts and do some things that are continually moving up there. We're working on some water issues up there, and we're using some of the engineering from our engineering office to try to get some of those areas taken care of, and we're getting close on getting some of those things where they need to be. So it's a great contract. It will give some relief for the district as we move forward, as we prepare ourselves to annex in all the property of the new subdivision up there. And so that's my contract, and if there's any questions, or that contract, if there's any questions Commissioner Ebert has, would love to talk about it, or anything we can do to help you out.
What's the length of the contract, Commissioner Bill? Is there a length on it?
Know that there's an end date on it, is there, Dave? We probably should add, I would imagine, a 2-year date on it, wouldn't you
It says
think?
this agreement shall be for a period of 4 years.
Oh, 4 years.
On
Okay.
Section 1 under term.
4 years then.
Section 1 under what? I apologize.
Term. The very first letter A.
There's termination there.
Okay. And then is there a negotiation phase every year? Do we renegotiate the hourly rates? Do we have that option? Or are we stuck with the rates for 4 years?
I don't know that, Dave.
There's not a provision to renegotiate those rates. Maybe Sean can address that. We didn't do individual rates so much as an explanation. Sorry. To cover costs with administrative costs.
So have we just taken our staffing costs and put those numbers in here?
That's correct. We could add a provision that those rates could be updated. We do that with our snowplow rates. Sometimes they remain the same, sometimes they increase.
We do it with our rates that we have with our districts that we have. Like 911 or Mosquito, or do they just redo the contract every couple of years?
We just renew the contract. We don't call out rates.
Well, the concerns I have is our staff overwhelmed? Are we looking at hiring new staff to do this? Will there be that much work?
Sean will have to answer that.
That is a great question. The recommendation has been made that we do hire at least one additional staff member to help out with these services, but that is something that still needs to have a decision made. So
So these hourly rates, is that based on an individual we presently have, or is that an entry rate? Would these rates cover if we had to hire someone else?
I think it's an average of the people that would be working on this, a compilation divided out to get an across-the-board average of what those general costs would be.
Okay, and these are hourly rates and benefits, so it encompass all the costs associated with.
Correct, yes.
Okay.
Any other questions?
Nope, I'll make a motion that we approve contract 395, is that correct, Fatima? Approval of contract by and between Weber County and Powder Mountain Water and Sewer District to provide effective and efficient core administrative services.
I second it. Any more discussion on that? Seeing none, I'll call for the vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Passes. Next, G, public comment. Limit to 3 minutes, but we'd love to hear what the public would have to say, so come on up. Come on, I can see someone's thinking about it. The microphone's all yours. Jim?
There's no light for you.
Jim, are you thinking about it? I know you are, because you've got, I'm sure, much more to say. Okay.
I may not disappoint.
We got Jan here. Jan's down here from the valley, and we're glad to have Jan Fulmer here. Thank you for coming down. Got a little snow up in your neighborhood, so that snow dancing's working up there for our ski resorts. We appreciate it.
You promised us a short meeting.
Okay, good point. Well, but I said I would make it a little longer to make Commissioner Gibson feel at home, because I'm sure he's watching us live somewhere.
He feels good. He's warm and fuzzy.
Okay, then we'll be done. Just a little note, next week, if you come to County Commission meeting at 10 o'clock in this room, you will be showing up to work tomorrow when it's closed. We will not be here next week at 10 o'clock. We will be here next week at 6 o'clock because it's our public hearing.
5:30.
Oh, 5:30, 5:30. Our meeting starts at 5:30, public, yeah, we'll do our meeting at 5:30, public hearing at 6. So 5:30 next week here. If you come at 10 o'clock, you won't see anybody here. So next week, we're going to do our public hearing, and so come early to get a seat, because it'll be packed. There was one person at it last year.
Bring a friend.
Yeah, bring a friend or two. It'd be really nice. And we'll answer any questions, anything we can do on that, on the public hearing on our budget. So we've been working hard on that. Our staff has been. So Rickie's office has been doing a tremendous job on that, in the middle of trying to put a new computer program in. And so they've been doing great. And we appreciate what you've been doing there, Ricky. So next week we need a thought, and that will probably be me. I'll do the thought. And we need a pledge of allegiance for next week, tomorrow night, or next week in the evening. Anybody volunteers?
I'll do the pledge.
Okay, Commissioner Ebert will do the pledge, so next week then. So we'll go to item number I.
I'll make a motion, we adjourn.
I second it.
Aye.
Aye. Oh, we voted on it. Aye. We all voted and aye and seconded.